Okay, so we already started the topic finite differences in the last session. Uh, in last session, we mainly learned the three important formulas. The first one, a forward difference operator. So, what is the formula for that? Delta fx. Yes, anyone? Yes. What is the formula of forward difference function? Delta of fx.
Sir, fx plus h plus,
Yes. Minus
plus
fx.
fx
Okay.
minus fx.
Very good, Asif. Okay, correct. So f of x plus h minus fx is a delta fx there. So that is forward operator. Now backward del fx, which is same value fx minus f of x
X minus
minus
h.
h. Correct. And last one, yes, anyone? E raised to n of fx.
Fx plus nh.
Correct. This is already on the screen. You will observe that is given here. E of fx is f of x plus h. E square of fx is f of x plus 2h. E raised to n of fx f of x plus nh. So these three are most important formulas that we require in the derivation purpose. Generally, the 2 marks questions are coming on these three operators only. Okay, so that is 2 mark question if it comes. So this topic have a very small weightage there actually. So these are the three definition you should know. Now you'll observe. Okay, let me see the questions which are asked in the old question paper. In one of the old question paper, the question is asked like this: show that delta this delta is equal to e minus 1. Show that delta is e minus 1. Then proof. The proof is very simple. It's a trivial. It's of hardly 2 steps only. So we have to start as a consider delta of fx. Consider delta of fx is equal to f of x plus h minus fx. This is by definition. Now we have to find out relation between delta operator and e operator. These are operators. Okay. It is just like a differential integral operator like that. These are operators. These are changing function. So when we say delta of fx, that changes the function like this: f of x plus h minus fx. E of fx, f of x plus h. So as we have to convert this RHS in e function, so this term we can write it as a e of fx only. E of fx is f of x plus h. This minus fx will be as it is. Now we can take that fx outside and we keep the operator like e minus 1. E minus 1 of fx. So thus what we proved here, delta of fx is equal to e minus 1 of fx for any fx, because we are not writing any condition on that function fx. So this is any function fx. Therefore delta must be equal to e minus 1, and that is the end of the proof. The proof is very simple. We started with the delta fx definition and we come across delta fx is the same as e minus 1 of fx. So whatever the result we get from delta on fx, the same result we get by operating e minus 1 on fx. So these operators should be same. So delta should be same as e minus 1. That is the end of the proof, and this proof can be asked for 2 marks there. Any doubt? If you don't have any doubt, write it, and once you finish, tell me so that I will take a second proof here. Yes, can you tell me? Are you finished?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good, Akash. So I am writing here the second question. The second question is to show that del is equal to e minus 1 upon e. So that is a question here. So proof of that del operator is equivalent to E minus 1 upon E. So again, we should consider del fx. Yes, by definition, what we should write?
So fx
Yeah,
minus fx plus h.
not correct. Minus h. Why you said fx minus f of x minus h. Same minus previous value. Okay. So this is a definition. So that fx will be as it is. How we can write this in shift operator? How we can write f of x minus h in a shift operator?
So e to the power minus 1.
Correct. E raised to minus 1 of fx. Very good. So this is by the shift operator formula. So again, we can do one same thing. So 1 as it is minus e raised to minus 1 as it is of fx. So what we got here, del of fx is the same as 1 minus e raised to minus 1 of fx. So this implies this del operator should be equal to 1 minus e raised to minus 1 operator, and that is the proof. But we want here in this format e minus 1 upon e, so we can simplify it 1 minus 1 upon e, because e raised to minus 1 is 1 upon e. Cross multiply, we get e minus 1 upon e, and that's a required proof. Okay, so thus we got this required answer, del is equal to e minus 1 upon e. So actually this second proof, actually del is equal to e minus 1 upon e, this one is asked 2 times in old question paper, probably in 2016 and 17. This question is asked 2 to 3 times. Actually this question repeated, same question is repeating only, this one only. Del is equal to e minus 1 upon e, while delta is only e minus 1. So once you finish, tell me. So are you noted down? Okay, so I will move to the next because I am not getting any reply whether you finished or not. So I will move further here. So now if you observe what's written on the screen, we already observed the relation between delta and shift operator is this one, delta equal to e minus 1. So this result is many times useful to find higher order derivatives of the function fx. For example, suppose I want delta square of fx, delta square of fx. So there are two ways. One way is a delta of delta fx, we can do it. First, one delta will keep outside, and delta fx is f of x plus h minus fx, and you will do that. So I will show you otherwise both way. Okay, the first way, which is this one, delta of delta fx. So this delta as it is, inner delta of fx can be written as f of x plus h minus fx. We done it actually in the last session only. Now this delta f of x plus h I am writing because again it is a first order. So it is f of x plus 2h minus f of x plus h. That is a definition for the first one. Now delta fx minus delta fx is f of x plus h minus fx. And now if we simplify this, we get the answer f of x plus 2h minus 2 times f of x plus h minus fx. No need to write anything. It is plus. So this is one of the way to get delta square fx. To get the value of delta square fx, this is one of the way. I am writing now the other way. The other way is like this. delta square of fx. I can write delta, the value of delta is e minus 1. We already know it is e minus 1. So delta is replaced by e minus 1 and that is a bracket square. So if we take e minus 1 bracket square, e minus 1 bracket square is e square minus 2e plus 1 of fx. Just we square the bracket. E minus 1 bracket square is e square minus 2e plus 1. And now e square of fx, yes anyone? What is e square of fx?
Sir, fx plus 2h.
Correct. Minus 2 times e of fx. E of fx should be f of x plus h. And lastly, plus 1 of fx. So that is plus fx only. So you will observe this answer and that answer both are same. So here you require 2-3 steps, but here you get the answer in a single step. Right now, we derived a formula for delta square. But remember, if you have to find the formula for delta raised to 5 or delta raised to 6, actually the second method is a simple one. But I will tell you one more thing. In last 5 years, not a single question asked on this type. Not a single question is coming on this type. But it is part of syllabus. So just we are completing it. And it is very simple, not so difficult. So this is delta square fx. I wanted to show you one more thing here because few of the students have this problem that this actually can be sometimes written in y0 notation. Instead of f of x plus h, it is written in yn notation. So here, if we have delta square of y0, actually I will write it in the delta notation first. What is the delta y0, anyone? What will be the value of delta y0? Yes, anyone? What is the next value to y0? The next value of y0 is y1, na?
So y1.
Yes. So delta y0 should be y1 minus y0, is it? Y1 minus y0. So in some cases, the results are asked in delta y0 notation, that notation. So you should do a similar way only. So here you can do like e minus 1 bracket square of y0. So that is a e square minus 2e plus 1 of y0. And now if you observe, e square of y0 is actually y2, means we have to shift 0 by 2 places, so it is y2. E square of y0 is y2 minus 2 e of y0 is y1, and lastly plus y0. So whatever this result you are writing in fx form, the same result is there in y form. Okay, yn form. So fx form or yn form, both are similar there. You shouldn't familiar with the notations mainly. You can whenever the question is asked in yn notation and you do in fx notation, then also you will get the marks. Okay, so you can do the proof either in yn notation or you can do the proof in fx notation. Both are correct there. Okay, so no need to write anything here. Okay, because it's not so important, not coming many times in the exam, so it is just for your information. Now this part, yes, I will ignore it, not important. It is already a solved example. If you want, you can go through that. Here is the important examples again, which are coming for 2 marks again. But again, I will tell you last 4 years, 5 years, these questions not asked. Which question is asked only? That relation between del and e. So del is equal to e minus 1 upon e. That proof only coming again and again in the exam. Other than that, I think not any question that is asked in the exam there. Okay, so come to this part. Suppose the question is find delta sin x. Find delta sin x. So it is one line proof. Delta sin x is sin of x plus h minus sin x, because we know f of x plus h minus fx. So x is replaced by x plus h, and again same. So sin of x plus h minus sin x. So this is the answer if the question is find delta sin x. But if the question is show that, we should use this formula. What is the formula? Sin c minus sin d. Yes, anyone? Sin c minus sin d is equal to 2 times. It is known as, I think, defactorization formula, or it is a factorization something.
So 2 times cos c plus d.
Yes, c plus d.
into sine C minus D.
Correct. Very good. Very good, Indrayan. Yeah. So 2 times cos C plus D upon 2 into sin C minus D upon 2. If you use this formula, you will get this answer. But when you require this second step, when the question is show that delta sin x is this much, show that delta of sin x is this much, then you use this formula and prove it. Okay. Otherwise, you can keep first answer. Similarly, now if you come to the second question here, we have to find delta tan inverse x. Okay, delta of tan inverse x by the formula, it is f of x plus h minus fx. So tan inverse x plus h minus tan inverse x. Can anyone tell me what is the formula used to simplify? Actually, this is again you have to do it when the question is to for simplify. Yes, which formula used?
Tan inverse A minus tan inverse B.
Correct. Tan inverse A minus tan inverse B. And what is that formula?
Tan inverse A minus B by 1 plus AB.
Very good. Tan inverse of A minus B upon 1 plus AB. So this is the formula which is used to write this step, the second step. Tan inverse A minus tan inverse B, and this is tan inverse of A minus B upon 1 plus AB, and that is simplified only, and you got that answer. Okay, so that about the second question. Third question, we want delta log x. Now delta log x is again by main definition of delta operator, it is log of x plus h minus log x. Which formula we used here?
So log A minus log B equal to log A upon B.
Very good. Log A minus log B is equal to log of A upon B. That's the formula we use, and that is simplified. So many times that simplification is a possible. Okay, it is a possible. But whenever the question is a show that, then only you can do the simplification. Otherwise, you can keep the first step as answer also. Okay, both are correct. Simplified answers, yes, it is always better if you are able to do it. But if you have not confidence on your own to simplify, so you can keep that as answer there. So these are the few questions which are asked. Here few more questions are there, which is a solved one, where you have to solve it by taking h equal to 1. So when h is 1, what is the delta fx? Yes, anyone? Suppose h is 1. So what you should write delta fx there? F of
X plus 1 minus
correct.
F.
Very good. F of x plus 1 minus fx. So that is a delta fx. So that thing only you have to do it here. For example, suppose you have to do this delta square e raised to x. So first you should write delta e raised to x. So what should be delta e raised to x? It is e raised to x plus 1 minus e raised to x. Because instead of x plus h, you are writing h by 1. You are replacing h by 1. So many times the h is given as 1. So this question number 4, you can go through it your own. This is solved there. Now come to the question number 5, which is one of the important question. This is already asked in one of the question paper there. The question is find the missing value. Find the missing value from the table. Now these finite differences can be used to find out the missing values from the table. Now to get that missing value, first you have to make a difference table. So let me start a difference table. The first two columns of the tables are always x and y. Value of x is 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So these are the values of x. Then I'm writing the values of y, which are 1, 3, 9. Now this value is missing. I'll write it as alpha. And last one is 81. So we have to find out the value of alpha. Now whenever we have to find out alpha, whenever you have to find out the value of one constant, just write the differences till you get a one number only and equate that number to the 0 and you will get alpha. So can anyone guess the value? What should be the value of, what should be?
27.
Sir, 27.
27. Okay, many of you are guessed that value because the guess is correct. The reason is you are observing here like it is a 3 raised to 0 is 1, 3 raised to 1 is 3, 3 raised to 2 is 9, 3 raised to 3 should be 27 and 3 raised to 4 is 81. So this actually y is equal to 3 raised to x. This is the exact function, but we are not going to get 27 as answer. 27 is the wrong answer for us because you are writing 27 by observing the function, okay, which is the exact value. Actually, that is the correct value, but we are not interested in the correct value of the function. We are interested in approximate value of the function. Approximate value of the function. For example, whenever we have 2 points, suppose we are given a 2 points, 1 comma 1 and say 2 comma 2, and if I ask what is the value of y when x is 3, when x is 3, what is y? Okay, yes, anyone? When x is 3, y should be, we can say it is 3, because actually when 2 points are given, we can draw a straight line y equal to x passing through that, and we are approximated by straight line there. Okay, that way. So 27 is not a correct answer there. I will show you by calculation here. So what should be the answer? We'll come to that part later on again. So we have to find out, so first we'll calculate first order differential, delta. How we get it? Next minus same value, f of x plus h minus fx, means f of 1 minus f of 0, that is 3 minus 1, that is 2. 9 minus 3, 6. Alpha minus 9, and last one 81 minus alpha. Is that? So these are the first order differences, delta. Now I will write second order differences, delta square. 6 minus 2, it's a 4. Alpha minus 9 minus 6, alpha minus 15, and I think it is minus alpha minus 2 alpha, 81 plus 9, 90, 90 minus 2 alpha. Then I will take a delta cube, third order difference, alpha minus 19, and this is 90 plus, this is 105 minus 3 alpha. And lastly, delta 4, which is this minus that, so 105 plus 9, I think it is 124, 124 minus 4 alpha. So as we are reaching to the last difference, keep that as a 0 always. So 124 minus 4 alpha is a 0. Solid for alpha, you get 124 upon 4. 124 upon 4. I think it is 31, is it? So 31 is approximate value of y for when x is 3. When x is 3, y is 31. Now why this happened? Why this happened? Because what is happening when we are interpolating, actually in interpolation, actually we are approximating the function by a algebraic polynomial. For example, when we are given 1, 2, 3 and 4, actually we are given 4 pair. This pair is not given, this is unknown, so 4 pairs are given. When there are 4 pairs, it is approximated by third degree polynomial. When it is a third degree polynomial, its fourth derivative should be 0. So this fourth difference we are taking at a 0. Why we are taking fourth difference as a 0? Why we are equating it to the 0? The reason was actually its fourth derivative of that polynomial is a 0, because we are approximating this data by a third degree polynomial. Why third degree? Because 4 pairs given. Okay, so that is happening that way. So no need to remember all these part. Generally you should remember a simple thing. When you have to find out one constant, whenever you have to find out the value of one constant like alpha, equate last number to the 0. When there are two missing values, say here is alpha is missing and beta is also missing, so instead of 3 there is beta given. Then as we have to find out two constant, equate the last, when you get two equation, equate them to the 0. Probably this equation you get in alpha and beta, this equation also in alpha and beta. Solve two equation for two unknown and you will get alpha and beta. So number of constants that we have to find out, that number of equations we should have, that the simple logic you can use also. Okay, so this is a solved example. I will show you a solution here. So this is the question here, original question. We have to find out missing value. Here a is taken as a missing value and a is taken as 31. Now here the reason is given, since we have assumed the fx is a polynomial of degree 3. Okay, we assume that it is a polynomial of degree 3. Because of that, fourth derivative is a 0. Fourth difference is a 0. And that is not 3 raised to x. Can anyone tell me the degree of 3 raised to x function? What is the degree of this function 3 raised to x? Anyone knows the degree of the 3 raised to x function? Are you learned a Maclaurin series? Yeah. Asif says the degree is x. No, not correct. 3 raised to x. Degree is never not necessary only the power. Actually, it
1,
is
sir.
not. Yes, Ankur,
1, sir.
you don't know. One is
I'm
not
telling
correct.
1.
Not correct. Not correct. Remember, the degree of a polynomial is nothing but it is a largest power. So, for example, when we say fx is like ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, so this 3 is the degree. 3 is the degree. Okay. But 3 raised to x, if you write in a Maclaurin series, if you write a Maclaurin series of 3 raised to x, it is an infinite polynomial. It is a polynomial of infinite degree, because you can get like f of 0 plus x f dash 0 plus x square by 2 factorial f double dash 0 and so on. So you will observe f of 0 exists there, f dash 0 exists, f double dash 0, f triple dash 0 exists. So this is the polynomial of infinite degree. So 3 raised to x is infinite polynomial. Out of that, we are approximating this polynomial by polynomial of degree 3 only, this much. Okay, and because of that, this error occurred. Actual value is 27 and we are getting 31. This is the difference because of approximation only. Okay, so when this question comes in exam, you have to write like this only. You should find missing values like that, and if the second part is there, you should mention that thing there. But generally 2-mark question, this second part is not asked. This is not asked. Only find the missing value from the table. That will be the question. Okay, and that you have to find it by a difference table only, by a difference table. One similar question is given here. In this question, the 2 missing values are there. A is missing, B is missing. As these 2 are missing, so how many pairs were given? 1, 2, 3. As 3 pairs given, this represents the polynomial of degree 2, or third derivative should be 0. Third derivative should be 0. So third derivative you are equating to the zeros, and you get 2 equations for 2 unknowns solid simultaneously. You will get both A and B. We get that both A and B. So this way we have to finish that in the exam, if it comes mainly, because so here is the way 24 and 128 is the answer of A and B there. That are the missing values there. And here we are approximating this by polynomial of a degree 2, and third differences are 0. Now you can try this. Answers are given. You can practice these questions your own. Last small article left now. Yes, correct. I think who is asking this doubt actually? I think Dipansh. Okay, Dipansh is asking, while forming a table, forward or backward difference table would not make any change in the answer. Yes, the table remains same. The forward, backward or central table, all tables are same. Only top notations are changing there. It doesn't matter there, Dipansh. Okay. So, any doubt here? Because one small article we left, and that we are going to start now. Before that, if you have any doubt there. Okay, no doubt, Pranit. Good. Okay, so the last small article that we have, factorial notation or polynomial converting in a factorial form. So that we have to see here. First, you should remember the definition of factorial here. Whatever factorial function you learned for integer, that is a different. So you are learned n factorial, which is denoted like this, n factorial, or you are denoting like that, n factorial. Is that n factorial you are writing like n into n minus 1 into n minus 2, so on up to 2 into 1. So this is just multiplication of n integers there. So this factorial you are familiar. Now we are writing factorial for variables. Okay, in algebraic form. So first equation you can read like this: factorial of x. This is the factorial notation for variable. This x is not necessary integer only. So factorial of x is x only. Second factorial of x. Second factorial of x is x into x minus 1. Third factorial of x. Third factorial of x. X into x minus 1 into x minus 2. Can anyone tell me what is the fourth factorial of x? Yes, the formula will be
x into x minus 1 into x minus 1
x,
into x minus
x minus 1 up to
X minus 3.
correct. So this is the fourth factorial. That way we are getting the factorials first. Okay, so this is the factorial notation. Okay, this is the factorial notation for the algebraic terms. Now we'll come to the question. The questions are like this. We have to express. We have to express this one. 2x cube minus 3x square plus 3x minus 10 into the factorial notation first. And then we have to find the third difference. Remember, when we convert the function in the factorial form, the difference is nothing but we are getting the derivative of the function. Just you have to write the derivative of that function. We'll come to that. So let me write this function in a factorial form. To write any function in the factorial form, generally we use a synthetic division. That is the simplest method that we have. What is that method? The method is nothing but just write down the given polynomials in decreasing order. So first is x cube. I write the x cube coefficient, that is 2. Then x square coefficient minus 3. X coefficient 3 minus 10 is a constant. Okay, so in step number 1, just write the coefficient of x cube, x square, x and constant. Suppose one of the coefficient is not, suppose 3x is not there. So you write 0x, 0 should be written there. Okay, so write all the coefficients in decreasing order, 2, minus 3, 3, minus 10. Some of you may already familiar with synthetic division. So that only we have to use it here. Now in synthetic division, just we have to take the factors as 1, 2, 3 like that. So start with the first factor as 1. We want 1 as a factor. So whenever 1 is the first factor, what we have to do it? We have to just first take first coefficient as it is without multiplication. So I will write it as a 2. I will write it as a 2. The first coefficient, highest coefficient keep as it is. Cross multiply. 2 into 1 is 2. Take addition. Take addition there. There is plus sign there. So minus 3 plus 2 is a minus 1. Cross multiply. 1 into minus 1 is a minus 1. Addition 3 minus 1 is 2. That's 1. Now before that I will say it is a cubic polynomial. This is cubic polynomial and we want its factorial form. We want its factorial form. So the answer should be like this: y equal to a third factorial of x, because it is x cube is there because of that, plus b second factorial of x, plus c first factorial of x, and plus d. So indirectly we are writing this in ax cube minus bx square plus cx plus d in factorial form that way. So indirectly we want the values of a, b, c and d. Out of that, whatever the constant we have here, the same constant is there in the factorial form. So value of d is always the constant. So d is a minus 10. So in initial step only we get this value of d there. So d is a minus 10. D is a minus 10. So we should not go up to that. So keep d as a minus 1 there. I hope you are getting. Now here whatever this last value we left, that is the value of c always. So we got c value also. We got c and d there. Now to get the values of a and b, these two coefficients, we have to find out the second factor there. This is x minus 1 factor. So we have taken x equal to 1. Now we are taking x minus 2. So we are going to take here, this is a 2 there. Now in next level we are taking it as 2. So it is 1 taken, 2 taken now. So in a similar way, first coefficient keep as it is. So this 2 will be as it is. Cross multiply 2 into 2. 2 into 2 is a 4. Addition minus 1 plus 4 is a 3. That's 1. And lastly we get these values of a and b. So this is the value of b next, and we got a value, the remaining only one value is left, so that is a. So this is the value of a there. And now if you replace, we got the final answer. Thus the factorial notation of this polynomial is y equal to, the value of a is 2, so 2 third factorial of x plus b. b is again 3. So 3 second factorial of x. Then we have the value of c. c is 2. So 2 into first factorial of x and plus d. d is a minus 10. d is a minus 10. Now if someone have the doubt whether this factorial and that is the same, what you can do it, you replace factorial x by x only, replace this by x into x minus 1 and replace this by x into x minus 1 into x minus 2 and simplify. You will come to know you will get the same polynomial there. Okay. You will have the same polynomial. So this way we write the given function in a factorial form. Okay. Any doubt first in expressing factorial form? I will show you one more question. I will show you one more question for expressing the factorial form there. But right now, if you have the doubt, yes, you can ask. I think the question on factorial also not came in last 4 or 5 years in the exam. Yes, you can write, Pranit. Note down it. And if you have the doubt, yes, welcome. And once you finish, tell me. Okay, very good. I think Pranit, you completed. Anyone? Can I show you the derivative now? This third difference. We have to prove delta cube is 12. Third difference of y is 12. So third difference of y is 12, and that we can prove it by a derivative. When y is written in a factorial notation, the differences are very simple to compute. So if I want a first difference, say I want a delta y, I am writing here. Okay, let I write here delta y. So delta y is nothing but it is just like 2 into, just like it is a derivative of x raised to n. Yes, what is the derivative of x raised to n here? It is a 3x square. So this is 2 into 3 is a 6, and this third factorial of x is converted to the second factorial of x. 6 second factorial of x square plus 6, 3 into 2, that is 6x, like 6 into first factorial of x and then plus 2 only. So this will become a first. I hope all you can see this. Delta y is 6 into second factorial of x plus 6x plus 2. Just it is the derivative is taken. Like 2x cube is a 6x square, 3x square is a 6x, and 2x is only 2, that way. So this is the first derivative. Second, delta square y. Delta square y. Now 6 into 2 become a 12, 12x, like that, plus 6 only. And lastly, delta cube of y, third difference of y, so it is only 12. So that is the required answer. Third difference of y is 12. So this way you get a differences equal to the derivative. Okay, it is a differences, it becomes equivalent to the derivative when you write that in a factorial form there. So this way you can prove it. In the exam also you have to write the derivatives only. Now delta y is equal to this one, delta square y, delta cube y is 12, that way. So how to get first step? Yes, we have to write in a factorial form, and the next step, just take a derivatives. And what is the delta 4 of y? Yes, fourth difference of y. Yes, anyone?
0.
Yes, very good. Obviously it should be 0 because it is a polynomial of degree 3. Polynomial of degree 3, the third difference should be a constant, third derivative should be constant, fourth derivative should be 0. No, synthetic division is to convert it into the factorial form, while the derivative is to find the differences. Okay. I think Pranit is asking that question. These are the different things. The question is divided in two parts. First part is express it in factorial form. So you have to convert in factorial form. That is the step first part we done. And next, why we derivative taken to get the third difference. Third difference of y is like a third derivative of that factorial function. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. Now one small question here. This is the question number 10. Find the function whose first difference is this one. Find a function whose first difference is this one. That is a question we are given. So indirectly we are given delta y because first difference of y is given. So first yes, we'll check 1 minute. So we are given delta y as a 9x square plus 11x plus 5 and we want y. The question is find the function y whose delta y is this one. Yes, anyone? What should be done? How we can get that function y?
Integration, sir.
Yes, very good, correct. Because already it is a difference. Difference is like derivative we are given. So we have to integrate, but we cannot integrate this function directly. If you integrate this function directly, you get a wrong answer. First, you have to convert this into the factorial form and then integrate. Like here, from function we get difference. First we convert it in factorial and then differentiated, then we get that. So similarly, we have to convert this into the factorial form first and then we have to integrate. Okay, I hope this becomes clear. Now tell me how to convert this into the factorial. So we should write the coefficients. Yes, what are the coefficients? Highest coefficient is x square 9, then 11 and then 5. 9, 11 and we were right. We want to write delta y like this. Delta y is a second factorial of x plus b first factorial of x plus c. So this way we want ABC is there actually. So what is the value of c? Yes, Asif is already calculated. C is 5. That's correct. So we got a value of c there. The first value is always there. C as it is there. Constant. But for other two, yes, we have to do the synthetic. So we start with 1. Then we take the first constant as it is 9. Cross multiply 9 into 1 is 9 here. And then addition is there. 11 plus 9 is a 20. Now you will observe. This is the value of C. Then this value will be of B. And only one value left. So that should be of A. We got A, B, C there. So the factorial form that we got here is y is equal to ax cube, that is 9 third factorial of x. Actually, it is not y, it is a delta y equal to, because we are given first difference. Delta y is equal to given 9 third factorial of x plus 20 second factorial of x and plus c is a 5. Now we want y here. So integrating from delta y, we are interested in y. So integrating, we get, I will say integrating y is equal to, yes, what's the integration of 9x cube?
9 upon 4 x raised to 4.
9 by 4, 9 by 4 into fourth factorial of x plus 20 by 3 third factorial of x and lastly plus 5 factorial of x. But there is one thing again missing, that is a constant of integration plus d you should write. Plus d.
So del y should be 9 factorial 2, I guess, not factorial 3. So above in pink.
Yes. My mistake. Yeah, because of that, everything I am written is wrong. Very good. Good observation. Actually, you should see what I am writing. If I am writing something wrong, you should tell me. Definitely. So this is the this is actually the quadratic equation. So answer, you should write delta y as 9 into second factorial, 9 into second factorial of x plus 20 into first factorial of x plus 5. Now we are correct. And integrating now we are getting the correct answer. Y should be 9 into x cube by 3. So it is a 3 third factorial of x. Okay, now it is correct. 20 upon 2 is it 10 into second factorial of x plus 5 into first factorial of x plus the constant of integration, say alpha. Now you should simplify this. You write x factorial x as x only. This is x into x minus 1, and this is by this one third factorial, and you can write that y. So that is the answer, or you can keep this also the answer. This is a y in a factorial form whose first difference is a given function. Okay, so that is the answer. Any doubt, anyone?